finally here. I finally made it. It's my full all-in-one HELIX preset designed around the Benson Chimera, tone matched for this amp. And it's absolutely free for HELIX Floor, for HX Stomp, also for TONEX, for Quad CORTEX, for FM9, and more. So go head to thetoneshepherd.com. If you play anything, it's pretty much available for that. But I do want to preview some of the tones in it, so stick around for some of that, and let's just dive into it. First and foremost, I'm going to use my Jennings Navigator with Lambertone's Crema. Normally, I use a Voyager with Crema Grinder. Both will work. Let's just dive in and look at the preset. Here's what it comes with. This is for HELIX Floor as well as HX Stomp. And what you get right over here, if you look, you get the TS, TM, so it's the Tone Match CHIME humbucker B1, B2, and B3. Basically, that's my Benson speaker. B1 is the warmest of the three, B2 is a little bit brighter, and B3 is kind of similar to B2, but it's got a unique flavor. And then I have a Benson SC, which is designed for single coils, but you know what? Try it with humbuckers as well. So all three of these, if you click on them, are just, they're for the Stomp. Basically what you can do is these amps paired with these tone matched IRs, make sure you load those IRs in there. Those will give you the sound you're looking for. And you can go to the product page and learn more about the actual, what the B1, 2, and 3 mean. They have to do with mic position, amp settings, and all that. So take a look at that. Then we have 3 full presets. So TS, TM, CHIME, HB1, humbucker 1 is the first, basically the Benson 1 speaker loaded up here with a full preset, full effects, full snapshots, all that stuff. And then we have a preset designed for the HB3 and then a preset designed for single coils. So you get all that for free. But let's dive into HB1. That's my preferred one, I think, right now. It's a little bit warmer. If you have a if you have a warmer guitar, this is a bright guitar. If you have a warmer guitar like a Duesenberg, maybe reach for the HB3, and that's a slight bit brighter. But let me just show you some of the sounds. Let's dig in. So here's the clean sound. It's got a little hair on it, so even with these low output humbuckers, there is a little hair. If you wanted to clean it up, just clean it up. Just take the amps and take the drives down a touch, and that's to taste. You can adjust that. And this is the light. And mid. And then heavy. Let me show that to you in context. Here's another tune. And then there's ambient chorus, sounds like this. And here's light eighth. Nothing too fancy. And then I have a mid with a boost on, and I'll talk to you about stomp mode in a second. So this is mid. And then mid boost. So it just takes mid and, you know, bumps it up just a little bit. And then obviously a swell patch. Just kind of your basic stuff. There's nothing overly crazy about this preset, but it makes a great template for copying and pasting and making song-specific presets if you'd like to do that. Or honestly, you could use this as kind of your base preset and just change the BPM or tap it in and run with it as is. Let me show you stomp mode really quick, because that's always a helpful way to run things if you'd like. The pitch block is there. I have a dual pitch block just by default. It's set to a little bit of octave up and a little bit of octave down. But that's there for you. And then I'm using the pillars overdrive and the Timmy. And I've set that up in kind of a way that works for me, but check it out. I'm actually using the pillars as kind of my primary heavy drive, and the Timmy is sort of my lighter stage drive. I really love the modes in the pillars. It has those 3 modes that could go from anything from like a clean boost to full on, you know, overdrive, pretty saturated overdrive, and I'm just enjoying it. I know it's kind of like a typical Tube Screamer type overdrive, but it just kind of works with the Helix in my opinion. And then I have the Timmy that, like I said, I use it for my first stage, but I also use it as a boost as well at times. I've got the chorus on there and the trem on there as well. You can use those, turn them on and off as you will. So if I'm on the clean setting here, basically all of that stuff is off, the trem and the chorus, and you can kind of just use it. So Timmy's a little lighter. And then you can switch to the pillars if you want something a little heavier. Or you can stack them. You have your pitch block kind of ready to go. And chorus there if you need it. And then trem right there. That one's really subtle on that setting. The Elephant Man delay comes after the amps. It just adds some washy stuff. Heavily modulated. And then likewise, the dynamic hall that comes after the amps in the chain. If you see that here, this is the dynamic hall and this is the Elephant Man there. The modulations come after the amps as well. But that sounds like this. Let's turn off the glitz and the crisscross so you can hear it clearly. It has a very, very long tail. It's not high mix though. So I typically use them together. I don't often use the dynamic hall on its own. They're kind of, I have some settings that I like together. Especially, I've set them up in kind of a unique way on, if you go to the heavy setting. Let's go to the heavy setting, but turn, you know, the pillars off so it's just clean. The decay is quite long, but it's not super overwhelming. It doesn't immediately envelop your tone. So that's how I use those. I chose, let's talk about my choice of delay. I don't see this being used a lot, but since I'm such a fan of dual delay, the crisscross really has the bases covered on that. And it takes a little bit getting used to how to use this, but I have found this to be extremely flexible as my like kind of basic always going on delay. If I want them to not be panned and have two delays going at once, you can easily just move both of them to the same subdivision. So now these are both dotted eighth right here. And then I might, if I was going to do that, I might adjust the feedbacks so that they're exactly the same. But you could even play with that if you want. And then you could choose panning them slightly differently if you'd like. But then you have the mix control. And the crossfeed control is an interesting control because it kind of blends the two sides together. When you have them on, the same subdivision, it's not as noticeable, but with different subdivisions, you can get a very distinct, left and right stereo field, or you can kind of mix them together so they kind of start wider and then end together. And then it has a modulation going on, which I appreciate, and it's got bit depth stuff that you can play with. And the other thing I just appreciate about it is it has a high and a low cut, and I use that to shape the tone of the delay. I put most of the important controls on Snapshots, by the way. Most everything is on Snapshots just to be able to change, the gain and stuff on my drive blocks per snapshot. I don't have that going on right now with the parametric EQ, but I do have that on the pitch block and the modulation and stuff like that. For Stomp users, you can use these first 4 presets right here, load them into your Stomp, use them with your pedal board, and send it. So I don't think I have much more to say. This is because it's a free product, just go snag it. You don't need to be convinced, but I'm going to play out and head to theToneShepherd.com to grab it. Also subscribe to this YouTube channel. Would really appreciate that as well, and head to my Instagram and follow me there for more content on all of this stuff. So I'm going to play you out. Have a great one. Enjoy the tones.